How are you, Robbie?
Not bad, thank you, lad.
Are we ready for...
I think so.
Gags of the week?
I think so.
Maureen Bradwell sent me a lovely email and she said, where do birds invest their money?
Where do birds invest their money?
In the stock market.
Of course.
And what do you get if you cross a pair of dogs with a hairdresser?
I don't know. What do you get?
A shampoodle and setter.
I say.
What do you say?
What does it mean if you always feel that your cup is half full?
I don't know.
Means you need a different bra? And did you hear about the woman who grew tired of sewing name tags onto her son's school uniforms?
No.
She changed his name by deed poll to machine washable. Thank you, Lee.
This is from John. What does a cloud wear under his raincoat?
Go on.
Thunderwear. And what do you call two monkeys sharing an Amazon account?
I don't know. What do you call them?
Prime mates.
Dear. A man was just waking up after surgery.
Yes.
And his wife was sitting by his side.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes fluttered open and he looked at her and said, "Oh, you're beautiful." And then he fell asleep again.
Yeah.
His wife had never heard him say that, so she stayed by his side.
Yeah.
After a short nap, his eyes fluttered open and he said, "Oh, you're cute." And the wife was a bit disappointed. She said to the doctor when he came in, "When my husband first woke up, he called me beautiful. But just a minute ago, he woke up and called me cute. What's happened to beautiful?" The doctor said, "I'm afraid the drugs are wearing off." Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy. He said a mother invited some people to dinner, and at the table, she turned to her 6-year-old daughter and said, "Would you like to say the blessing, darling?" And the little girl said, "Oh, I don't know what to say, Mummy." And so Mum said, "Well, just say what you normally hear Mummy say." "OK," said the little girl. And they all bowed her head, and she said, "Lord, why did I invite all these people to dinner?" Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you. What's the most difficult part of water polo?
I don't know.
Stopping the horse from drowning.
My mate got a job down the local bowling centre.
Oh, yeah?
It's not permanent. He's just temping.
Just temping.
Thank you. Dr. Doolittle, who can talk to the animals, was being interviewed on the Nick Risby radio show.
Was he?
And what's the funniest conversation you've ever had with a dog? Nick asked the doctor. That's an easy one, replied the doctor. Alfie and Benji were both amazed how as soon as they'd done their business, their human owners, Dawn and Sue, quick as a flash, scooped up and bagged it. "What on earth do they do with that?" Benji and Alfie. And Alfie said, "Well, I heard Dawn and Sue give the bags to Margaret, and she uses a main ingredient in her signature dish. Poop fritter rolls."
The teacher asked her class, "Who knows where the English Channel is?"
Yes.
"What about you, little Nick?" And little Nick stood up and said, "Well, I'm not sure, miss. We changed TV providers last week."
Thank you. Viking warrior Rudolph the Red and his wife were on a stroll. Rudolph the Red looked up at the sky and said, "We should hurry up. There is a storm coming." And his wife said, "How do you know?" "Well, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer."
A policeman spotted a car speeding down the road on the A14 and pulled the driver over.
Yes.
And the driver rolled down his window and said, "I know a speeding officer, but I'm racing my wife to hospital. She's overdosed on reducing tablets." The officer peered at the passenger seat in the back of the car and said, "I don't see a woman in this car." "Oh no," he said, "I'm too late."
Kieran said a woman woke up in the night to find that her husband wasn't in bed. So she put on her dressing gown and she went downstairs to look for him. There he was, sitting at the kitchen table with a hot cup of coffee in front of him. He appeared to be deep in thought, just staring at the wall. So she watches as he wipes a tear from his eye and takes a sip of coffee. "What's the matter, my dear?" she said. The husband looks up from his coffee and he said, "I'm just remembering when we first met 20 years ago and started dating. Do you remember that?" "Yes," she said. She touched his tears and he said, "The words aren't coming easy. Do you remember when your father caught up with us and we were in my car?" "Yes, I remember that," she said, lowering herself into the chair. The husband continues, "Do you remember when he shoved that shotgun in my face and said, 'Either you marry my daughter or you go to prison for 20 years'? She said, "Yes, I remember the shotgun wedding." And he wipes another tear from his eye. He said, "I would have been released today."
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Hello, Tom.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I got a bit wet.
Yes.
Excuse me, I messed my hair up. Look at it. Look at it. It was perfect before then.
You look gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
And you know what?
What?
My family,
Yes.
they used to move around a lot.
Yes.
When I was 10, my family moved to Penzance.
Yes.
When I was 12, I found them. And it was my wife's birthday today. Or it could have been yesterday. I'm not sure. So I stopped at the florist to get her some roses.
Yes.
And I said to the florist, I said, I want the flowers to tell her how much I care for her.
Yes.
Oh, said the florist, I suggest 2 dozen roses then. 2 dozen roses will say I love you more than your words could ever say.
Yes.
And you know what? We're having a sale today. Only £40 for 2 dozen roses. I said, make it a dozen. I'm a man of few words. Oh, dear. And surprisingly, we've been seeing a marriage counsellor, you know. I don't think it's done any good. Because he said to me, he said, what the wife and you have in common. And I said, well, we got married on the same day. Really? And you know what?
What?
I dreamt I got a swimming pool.
Yes.
It was only a dream.
Yes.
And I phoned the swimming pool supplier.
Yes.
I said, here, Mr. Supplier, Paul. His name was Paul.
Yes.
I said, I filled the swimming pool
Yes.
with 10,000 gallons of water in the summer.
Yes.
And when I checked,
Yes.
I took out 11,000 gallons because I emptied it. That's how I knew it. And he said, oh, an engineer arrived and he said, Mr. Tom, I've checked the water system, everything's in order. And I think what's happened is all those people you've had in your pool have added to the water. I said, you're taking the Michael. Hey, Chaz. And I made a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
And I went there.
Yeah.
And I went there. He said, what can I do for you, Tom? I said, I've got this problem. I've got a cucumber up my nose, a carrot in my left ear,
Yes.
and a banana
Yes.
in my right ear.
Yes.
I said, what on earth is wrong with me?
Yes.
He said, I don't think you're eating properly. He said, not only that, Tom.
Yes.
I said, Doc, not only that, Doc.
Yes.
I keep thinking
Yes.
I'm a magnifying glass. He said, Tom, you're blowing things right out of proportion now. Hey, Ward. And I went for a job interview, you know,
Yeah.
at the blacksmith's.
Yeah.
And the blacksmith said to me, can you weld? Oh, yes, I said, I can weld. He said, can you shoe a horse? I said, no. But I once told a donkey to go away. Eeyore. And what you doing on the computer, my wife said,
Yes.
one day.
Yes.
I said, well, honey,
Yes.
I'm looking for some cheap flights. Some cheap flights.
Yes.
Oh, she said, you're such a love. And she gave me a big hug and kiss. Oh, I was shocked.
Yes.
Because she'd never showed any interest in darts in the past. Oh, thanks, Sonia. Oh, dear. And finally,
Yes.
Yes. On my list.
Yes.
Oh, no, where's it gone? Here it is.
Yes.
I said to the wife,
Yes.
when I die,
Yes.
I'd like to die
Yes.
making love.
Yes.
Making love, I said.
Yes.
That's how I want to die.
Yes.
She said, at least it'd be quick.
On the BBC Sounds app.